Alright, hey everybody, this is the Make Ready Reloading Go Bag. We're going to start by just saying this video does not promote the sales or firearms or ammunition or anything like that. This is a simple run through just to talk about what you see here on the table, what I would have in my Go Bag, and what I think you guys should have in your Go Bag. So now we're going to go here to my pockets and what I carry actually in my pockets or in my belt line. So first off, cell phone, pretty self-explanatory. Wallet, pretty self-explanatory as well. Typically try to have a little bit of cash in there to get you out of a bad situation. Simple knife, cheap, very easily lost, not a big deal. Not an $100 knife, you know, a couple bucks, just a simple razor knife, change the blades out. Very, very simple knife to have. This is a Surefire EDC L2T. This is a very handy flashlight. It takes CR123s, it takes 2 of them. Very, very good to have. That way when you actually have a situation where you need to use a flashlight where you can't see something at night, or any other situation where it's dark, you have something on you that is not on your gun, that could save you from a lot of legal trouble. We'll go to the pistol next. So we'll start with the holster. These are the metal clips. I forget what these metal clips are called, maybe the street carry concepts or something, I forget. But nonetheless, the plastic clips that came with this holster are terrible. They're pointless. I've broken so many of them. These metal clips have been amazing. I can bend them back if I bend them out. If a seatbelt, you know, catches when I'm getting out of the vehicle or something, they're great. This is a T-Rex Arms sidecar. I'll be changing in the future because of all the stuff that's going on over at T-Rex, but for now this is what I have. Going to the pistol. This is a Glock 45 MOS. This is a very good pistol. I like it. Trigger's heavy, you know, love it or hate it, Glocks are great. TLR7A for the carry light, and then I've got a RMR up top. This is actually a 1MOA RMR. I like the dot being small, that way when you increase the brightness it doesn't absolutely balloon the screen out. And then I've got backup irons right here that I can see through the red dot. Pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. Put this down, and then I've got 2 magazines. One in the gun, one with this little magnetic clip that goes in my pocket. That way it's right here whenever I need, if I ever need to grab a reload in a self-defense situation, it's right there. Now, moving on to the guns. So there's 2 guns here because of different scenarios. Different scenarios dictate the use of different systems. So for more of your close quarter stuff, you're going to want a shorter rifle. And then for your longer distance or potential, you know, longer range situations, something like an 18-inch SPR is going to be very nice. For my area and the things that I would deal with in a bad situation, this is probably the one I'm going to run to the most. But we'll start with the short gun, kind of run through what's on it really quick, and then we will go to the SPR. All of these weapons have been made clear and safe, just so everybody knows, nothing in the chamber. Alright, now going into it, we will start at the front. This is a Surefire RC2. It's a 30 cal can, not the best for 5.56. It takes the edge off of the sound, but that's about all it does. Gives you a little bit of flash suppression, but it is very durable, it is very rugged. This is the first suppressor I ever got, and it has stood the test of time. This is a Surefire Vampire, capable of going from white light to IR, and there's even an in-between offsetting on that as well. 100 Concepts light caps. Signature reduction is very important. I can't stress that enough. Whether you're in a situation where your life depends on it or you're out in the field hunting. This is a DIR. It has a IR laser and a Viz laser. It's pretty simple. That's why the light's here on this gun. If I'm using these, I'm probably not that worried about my signature at that point. But anyway, coming back, this is just a simple Surefire pressure pad. Got a constant on button here, momentary right here, and then it is zip tied to the rail where my hand will not really be affected when I go to grip the gun. All the rest of this gun is pretty much factory BCM. I've changed out a few things here and there on this lower. This is a Geisley SSAE. And the barrel is probably the only other thing I've changed out. It is a 1-in-8 twist barrel. It's an 11.5 inch barrel from Rothko, if I remember correctly. It was a cheap barrel for the distances that you're going to shoot with a short gun like this. It matters more when you're in a duty situation, but nonetheless, that's the barrel that's in the heart of this gun. EOTech EXPS 3.0 up top. Hunter Concepts hex cap right here to reduce your signature. Then I've got a Radian Raptor SD here, and then a CAC Industry bolt in here. The sand cutter, really good at reducing the amount of carbon that builds up. Very, very good bolt. Everything else is pretty self-explanatory. Got a T-Rex sling here. I'll be changing that out in the future as well, mounted with UDs. That is the short gun. Moving on to the longer SPR, which is my personal favorite. We'll start at the back and go to the front. B5 system stock, adjustable cheek weld, adjustable length of pull back here. If you just need a little more than the clicks on your tube back here will give you. Moving forward, we'll start with the optic. This is a Nightforce MX8 2.5-20. Very, very good optic. It has a trimmer 3 reticle in it. I love the trimmer 3 reticle. Very useful for finding distances if you didn't have a rangefinder or anything like that. The reticle has all kinds of ways to measure. Also a Christmas tree reticle, so you can adjust on the fly quickly with holes. Right here on this side of the rifle, this is an RMR 03, I believe. It's like a 2 MOA dot or 3 MOA dot. Somebody can correct me in the comments on that. But Hunter Concepts furniture on the optics. To reduce the signature, as always, Reptillo 1.53 mount right here, so it's a low mount. Radian Raptor SD for the charging handle. Micro-Best bolt carrier group actually in the rifle. And then on this rifle, the heart of this rifle is a Craddock Precision 18-inch RTR. I love barrels from Craddock Precision. They're kind of a middle-of-the-road option, and they have been phenomenal so far. So, shout out to the guys at Craddock. They make good stuff. Then coming up here, this is a Surefire dual pressure pad. Runs my DIR-V and runs the Vampire on this side of the rifle. Both of these switches, I have pretty much memorized which both of them are, or which one controls what. Got them zip tied to the side of the rail here, and then I have an Atlas bipod here, Cat Noah up front, connected to a Plan B muzzle device. Pretty simple. And then I have, this upper is actually, in terms of the receiver and the handguard, have superlative arms, adjustable gas blocks on both of these rifles. And then for the handguard here, it is a CAC Industry, I believe it's like a 15-inch handguard, and then a CAC Industry receiver. Alrighty, so that's the rifle. I don't believe I forgot anything. Actually, I did. This is an Area 419 ARCA plate. Very, very, very good ARCA plate. Use that when I hunt all the time. Gives you a very, very sturdy lockup. Can't say enough good things about that. These are the mags that are in the rifle. I run 77 grain Sierra Match King OTM from our company. You can see that in the description. Alright, so this bag, this is an Everly stock switchblade. This is a relatively small bag for the amount of things that I carry in it. Just as a side note, typically I would have a water bottle of some kind, one that's throwaway, one that will be more sustainable. I do like the water bottles that have a life straw in the center so that you get some kind of water filtration if you were to have to just scoop water up in a bad situation and go. But nonetheless, let's start with the top pocket of this bag. So first thing I have in here is a darker hat. The reason for that, your hair when you will be out in the woods, for those of you who may not be out in the woods that much or out in the field, will get very greasy and shiny. You need to cover your hair up. It could get you killed. So that's the purpose of this. It's also in case you're wearing something bright, you're out in the city on a date with your wife, whatever, this will help you conceal your shiny head. This is a little blowout kit. This is not a dry bag. It should be in a dry bag. It is dry enough. This bag itself is, if anybody knows anything about fly fishing, this is a bag from waders. I just had it laying around. Used to fly fish a lot. Was useful for this. I'm not going to pull everything out, but I have a spare bolt carrier group, spare firing pin, bolt face, cleaning supplies, brushes, a towel, all of that good stuff in here, as well as a lower parts kit. Very important to have if you were to be in an extended situation that is bad. Okay, this, I don't really care that much if I get made fun of for this, but I carry this with me in almost every go bag that I have. This is just a little small pocket Bible or bag Bible. My faith is very important to me, and the Word of God has brought me so much comfort throughout so many trials in my life, and especially in a terrible situation like this that we would prepare or plan for. The Word of the Lord will give you so much comfort and peace, so that's why this is in here. The next thing are spare batteries. CR123s, AAAs. Some AA's in there for certain things, but double bagged, that way it will be sealed from water. Very important to have extra batteries. That's all in this top pocket. Now let's go into the meat of the bag. Alright, in this main pocket, the first thing that is in here is very obviously going to be helmet and night vision. So I have all of this together inside of a bag. That way you don't mess your NVGs up. Your NVGs could just fall out of here and get messed up. This is an expensive investment. You need to protect it. Spare CR123 in here in this bag. I will pull these out in just a second to talk about them. Those are Low Light Innovations MH1s. They're very, very, very good NVGs. This is a Wilcox G24. Mounts to the shroud of this helmet. I take it off because it doesn't fit in the bag very well, and you can't really get it closed with all the other stuff that I have in here. Team Windy bump. Not a ballistic, but very useful for all the situations I find myself in. It would be nice to have a ballistic, but it's more weight on your noggin when you actually go hunting and it's not a serious situation. Peltor Contact 3s with a single down lead for communications. These have been phenomenal. I've beat the snot out of these. Very, very good ear pro. 100 Concepts helmet screw, Team Windy helmet cover underneath here. All of that is to cover and conceal the black shine on this helmet. Because in a bad situation, signature reduction is extremely important. Can't say that enough. Let's pull these NVGs out real quick and we'll talk about them really fast. Alright, so Low Light Innovations MH1s. These are good NVGs. Can't say enough good things about this housing. This housing is user serviceable. You can do many things to it at your home. You can change your power supply. You can pull one of these off with a PVS 14 adapter and change it to a PVS 14. Dovetail mount, very, very solid pair of NVGs. L3 tubes in here. Can't recommend those enough, though I know that they are probably not going to be sold to civilians anytime in the future. So, that's the NVGs. Next thing, very important, a lot of people overlook this. Something to keep you warm, even in the heat of the summer. You can go hypothermic even in warm months. Something like this when you get wet and you need to strip your other clothes or just get warm in general, or somebody whom you love very much needs some way to get warm. Just a spare jacket like this is a very good thing to have. Obviously, the kit that I carry in here in terms of clothes will change throughout the seasons of the year. Right now, that's probably the only thing that's necessary. Later on in the winter, you'd have to figure out some socks and things like that, some other ways for you to keep warm. Magazines, extra magazines that are loaded in this main compartment. This right here is extremely important. Night vision is cool, but thermal, if you don't have it, that is what will get you killed. Thermal is the thing right now. It is the best way to detect signatures or an adversary or anybody else that's trying to find you. And also, this is what I would do when I put this on my rifles, I would take the optics off. I have all the tools in here to be able to take those off normally. And I would clip this on and then replace my daytime optic with this. Same thing on the short gun. I have rifle profiles programmed in here for the ammunition that I run in these rifles. That way I can just click through a few things and I'm good to go. Alright, next up, the chest rig. Why a chest rig and not a plate carrier? Well, the answer is pretty obvious. A plate carrier would be very difficult to get to fit in here, although you can do it. If you had some small plates, some very lightweight plates, you could do it. But for my purposes, I find that a chest rig is very applicable for the situations I may find myself in. 3 mags in the front, 2 tourniquets, and then I have all of my batteries right in the rain, pens, pencils, all that stuff in this little front pouch. I have working gloves here on the side. I actually have a coyote drag right here that I made from home for hunting, multi-tool right here, all that good stuff. Let me just say yet again, I know all the stuff that's going on with T-Rex. Kit will get switched in the future. For now, this is what I have, this is what I've run for several years. Kind of difficult to get to a new thing when you are used to something else. So there's the chest rig. Next up, fixed blade knife. This is a cheap little buck knife, very sharp, very useful. Paracord. Paracord is useful for all kinds of things. You can improvise a shelter with this. You could do a lot of things with paracord. Very good to have. This is a med kit. I'm not going to throw it open right now because I have it packed very tightly. I have gauze, tourniquets, all kinds of stuff in this. This is just in this pouch so that I can take it, throw it to somebody who needs it, and go do whatever I need to do. If somebody's injured, this is the bag that I can throw them that may save their life. That's why this is in here. I cannot say enough good things about having medical. And not only having medical, not Timu medical, good medical. Okay, more loaded magazines here in this front pocket. Typically I have a few more, but I had to take some out for a project the other day. They will get put back in. And then I have in these side pockets more loaded magazines. Little toilet paper left over for hunting season. You never know. Lip tool. Way to charge your batteries here. This is supposed to charge itself. The solar panel is not very great, but it does charge itself very slowly in direct sunlight. I would recommend getting something a little better, but I needed something quick when I got this for a trip, and it was very useful. I keep it in the bag, charged up. That way, if I was in a bad situation, I needed to charge my thermal batteries, for example, or a phone battery or whatever to get out of a bad situation, I have this as backup power. More loaded magazines right here inside. I cannot say enough about having a lot of magazines. Having a lot of magazines is very important. History has shown that in bad situations, in engagements, typically the force with more ammunition wins the day. Not always true, but typically when you study things, that is the case. So, that is everything that is in my Go Bag. I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be putting out more content in the future. So, like, subscribe, comment. All this stuff will be down in the description for where you can find it. Thank you guys, we appreciate it.